The Xelari Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds, their dark fleet spreading across the galaxy like a plague. They were the ultimate predators, cold, calculating, and merciless. Every species they encountered was either enslaved or annihilated. Earth was meant to be no different, just another world added to their growing collection. From the moment the Xelari fleet entered Earth's orbit, they exuded arrogance. They were used to subjugating primitive planets, and Earth, with its fragile ecosystems and divided nations, seemed no different. High Commander Vortil stood on the bridge of the Imperator, the flagship of the invasion fleet, staring down at the blue and green orb below. He felt no excitement, no anticipation, only contempt. Their demand was sent out in perfect synchronization: Earth, you are now a subject of the Xelari Empire. Surrender, and you may be spared. They expected a quick response. Perhaps fear, begging, or desperate compliance. But Earth responded with silence. Vortil found it amusing. Silence often meant submission, the quiet realization of defeat. Yet, something about this silence felt different. It was not the silence of fear but something deeper, waiting. He dismissed the unease gnawing at him. Prepare the orbital cannons, he ordered. Let them understand the price of defiance. Gigantic energy cannons on the Xelari ships began charging, glowing with a bright crimson light. The fleet prepared to unleash devastation, ready to vaporize Earth's major cities in seconds. The order was given, and the cannons fired. What followed was impossible. The energy beams fizzled out in the atmosphere, disintegrating into harmless particles before ever reaching the surface. Not a single building was touched. On the bridge, the Xelari crew scrambled to check the systems. Everything was functioning perfectly. Yet, the beams had vanished. Vortil's smug demeanor cracked. Fire again. The command echoed with frustration. They fired. And again, the same result, nothing. Then, across every Xelari channel, a human voice emerged. Calm, clear, and cold. You are not the first to try. You will not be the last to fail. The voice sent a chill through the fleet. It wasn't the defiance they were used to. It wasn't a desperate plea for survival. It was a warning. From Earth's surface, hundreds of ships launched into space, sleek, fast, and smaller than any Xelari vessel. They didn't look like much, but they moved with precision, like a coordinated pack of predators. As they ascended, they didn't head straight for the Xelari fleet. Instead, they encircled it, moving with the ease of creatures who had done this many times before. Primitive fighters, Vortil sneered. Destroy them. The Xelari warships opened fire, but the human ships danced through the barrage with impossible agility. They darted between the beams, weaving through the fleet like a swarm of deadly wasps. And then they struck. Instead of firing conventional weapons, the human ships emitted concentrated bursts of electromagnetic energy, disabling the Xelari ship systems. One by one, the Xelari ships went dark, powerless, drifting hulks in the void of space. It was not brute force. It was surgical, precise. How? Vortil's voice trembled with disbelief. They have no technology that matches ours. Another human voice spoke, this time with a hint of grim amusement. You believed we were prey. We are predators. Panic spread through the Xelari ranks as ship after ship fell. The fleet, once invincible, was reduced to helpless wrecks. The few Xelari ships that attempted to flee were swiftly intercepted, their engines disabled before they could escape. Vortil stood frozen, watching the systematic dismantling of his fleet. He realized, too late, that Earth had been waiting. Humanity had hidden its true strength, luring the Xelari into a trap. The voice returned, softer now but no less deadly. Leave, if you can. Tell your empire what you've learned. But know this, if you return, you will find only death. By the time the last of the human ships returned to Earth, the once proud Xelari fleet was reduced to floating debris. The galaxy would hear of the Xelari's defeat, and they would learn that humanity was not a prey species. It was a predator, patient and deadly.